你送予我的悲心，我拢无拍开。等待你的眼睛要魔化意志。毋甘看当拉我甜蜜的粉彩，用尽所有勇气，付掉未来，咱叫做情感兵器，遐路撒开。My memories of the past has been fragmented ever since being summoned to this world, where the rest of you reside in. But I do remember some aspects, even when it's fragmented. I was freshly graduated from the Officers' Academy of the Empire. It was a state of war, in my world at least. And before departing to join the war cause, there was this girl that I had a crush on. I did not had the courage to confess. Maybe she was too nice. Maybe I was busy. I didn't know why, nor did I remember why I haven't mustered up the courage to confess. Even when I had the resolve to join the war cause, I don't know how to say when it comes to her. On the day of departure, I received a letter, but I didn't really have the courage to open it up. As the war progresses, we were at a disadvantage. The Beast Folk Alliance has been pushing forward against us in spite of the war that we have waged against them. We were somehow losing the fight. We were fighting for a lost cause. Though we managed to endure the offenses from our side of the front, the left and right fronts of our battalion, or let's say in the battle, were not so lucky. They were routed and we were encircled. Many in the encampment were afraid what might happen to their loved ones should the Beast Folk Alliance defeat the Empire. Should we all be routed, what would happen to our loved ones? What would happen to the rest of the comrades fighting to defend our home? What happens next is still fragmented. I didn't really remember. All I remember was that when we were taking our last stand, there was a coup d'etat within the encampment. We were trained to infiltrate. We were trained to infiltrate the enemy. Within the enemy territory, and let's say kill if we must, and just capitulate their important cities when they least expect it. However, we were outsmarted. It turned out that members of the Beast Folk Alliance have feigned their surrender to the Empire, to break the Empire down, piece by piece, phase by phase. And that personnel within the Imperial Army were double agents of the Beast Folk Alliance. It was made that we were fighting for a lost cause, fighting for a war that we would never win. The Emperor's favorite consort turned out to be a beast folk, a fox to be specific. A white-furred fox corrupting the Holy Empire's systems, turning brother against brother, misdirecting the front lines, and entrapping us all. It also turns out the girl that I had crush on was also a fox. We were trained to infiltrate, but we were not as competent as the fox. The coup d'etat was successful on their part. We were routed, a valiant defeat, but in the end, we failed to prevent the Empire's demise. Many kept on fighting in spite of the fall. I wasn't that lucky. Encircled, trapped, and a coup d'etat within our own encampments. We were captured, and we were imprisoned by our captors. Many choose to die, but after many important personnel were caught dead, the beast folk tied us up and prevented us from killing ourselves, force-feeding us as a mean to keep us alive, even when the quality of the food wasn't that great. I'd say the military rations that we originally had were far better than the things that they force-fed us with. But a lot of things happened, and we were bounded, tied up, beaten, and those repeated. All we've learned from our captivity was pain and suffering. Years of captivity has drove me into insanity. I began to welcome more pain, and we were trained unwillingly by the Beast Folk Alliance to become their slave soldiers, to welcome pain, to fight, to kill. And if we had lower constitution and we couldn't really successfully defeat the enemy, the opponent, we were told to kill, to use any methods possible to bring the opponent to hell with us. Effectively, to be a human killing machine, a walking bomb that is ready to explode. Should we survive, we'd fight for the Beast Folk Alliance for another day, to be their killing machine so that they didn't really have to, you know, do the dirty work. We were labeled as traitors, fighting other human nations for a beast folk alliance. Until one day occurred where power finally corrupted the beast folk as they turned against one another, involving a civil war between different factions of the foxes. We were sent out to kill not just humans that we were used to kill, but other beast folks that had been oppressing us. Those bastards have trained us to the point that we were effectively numb to pain. We do not feel pain from just whips, or should I say, slashes from daggers, swords. Even if we were to lose a limb or a leg, we were told to fight on, to fight until we finally collapse, when we couldn't really rise up, move, roll, or be a slight annoyance to the opponent. But I had something that held me back. I just couldn't help. Even though those bastards have turned me into a walking weapon to kill, to fulfill my bloodlust, I just couldn't help but restrain myself when the opponent is a cute fox girl. And that is what happened before I was summoned here. Within the Civil War in the Beast Folk Alliance, in the land that was formerly known as the Empire, I encountered the girl that I had a crush on, standing across me at the path that we once swore that we would never cross. It was a difficult situation. Should I fight against my own will and slay the person that I have once loved, that she has a family to care for? Or should I fall without any resistance? I was conflicted. I couldn't, and I hesitated. I paused there until a sudden thud as she regretfully stabbed me in the chest. It was painful. I wanted to fight back, but something within me has prevented me from doing so. What happens next is just, I try to sing to numb the pain, the emotional damage that I felt. I have become a hollow being without a soul. I have been a terrible person, killing people without remorse. Maybe this would be the end for me. It would seem so if I weren't summoned here. Being summoned here in this world, I've experienced culture shock. There is no war to the place that I was summoned at. And that the foxes somehow they somehow were able to peacefully coexist with the humankind. Something that just doesn't exist from the world I am from. The beast folk has somehow gained a celebrity status, a positive one in fact, in this world. It's something that just perplexes me. I just don't really understand how that happened. How my mortal enemies in the past has become an idol. An idol cherished by many. A different form of slavery, but somehow not a negative one. Enough said. As in, my academy days, the rivals, the friends, the loved ones, they were all fragmented from a distant past. Now, I'm figuring a way to make a living. Maybe a career in singing or as a streamer would work. As long as I don't have to face my past of enduring the pain to kill or to suffer from blade wounds and gun wounds, it would be fine. As I said before, being summoned here made my memories very, very fragmented. And I couldn't remember, as if I am summoned here from two drastically different timelines, merged together to become the Shishiogen Haku that I am right now. As well as learning the history of this world. It has been a mind fuck to my brain. But I'll do my best to endure. To work harder to improve myself. So that one day I could reach success without the physical pain and suffering that I have endured in the past. My name is Shishiogen Haku. This is my incomplete lore. And if you are interested in me on what I do for a regular routine process, whatever you call here, regular uploads, be sure to check out my previous and future recordings. And Shishiogen Haku off.